This is Washington County's Texas Shooting Sports official safety training. If you have attended Hunter's Ed or some other gun-related safety training, some of this may seem familiar. However, this presentation will focus primarily on the 4-H side of gun safety. There are several items you must write down later on in this presentation, so please pause this video and find a piece of paper and some kind of writing utensil to write them down with. With that out of the way, let's begin. Safety training topics: 4-H programs and shooting sports objectives and opportunities. The second is 4-H shooting sports disciplines. The third, volunteer training and opportunities. The fourth, general firearms knowledge. The fifth, firearms safety, range commands, and personal protective equipment. And the sixth and final point, firearms cleaning and maintenance. The first point is programs objectives. Character development is the primary goal of 4-H shooting sports program. Instilling ethics, sportsmanship, and responsibility in every single participant. Developing leadership skills, promoting the safety, storage, responsible use, and handling of firearms and archery equipment. Also providing valuable lifelong recreational opportunities. Expanding 4-H membership. Strengthening families through the joys of lifelong activities of shooting sports. And finally, complement and enhance existing firearms safety and hunters education programs. But let's begin with the question: why shooting sports? Approximately 45% of American families have firearms of some kind in their homes. Safe and responsible handling of firearms is vital to prevent accidents in the home, in woods, on the range, and next door. Shooting sports is the third most popular international competitive sport behind track and field, swimming, and competitive diving. Lifelong opportunity to participate, shooters can remain competitive throughout their lifetime. Shooting sports attracts new audiences to 4-H and creates bonds between both adults and youth. 4-H youth participation criteria: you must be 9 years old or 8 years old and in the 3rd grade by September 1st, 2014. Student and parent must view the approved Washington County shooting sports safety video, this one, and complete the quiz prior to attending the shooting practice. No other shooting sports trainings are not a substitute for this training. Hunters Ed, Scouts, blah blah blah. Subject to approval of project leaders and members' ability to follow instructions, safety, and rules. National policy on paintball. The purpose of 4-H shooting sports program is to promote youth development through the safe and responsible use of archery equipment and firearms. Pointing any type of firearm, including air guns, laser guns, or laser sighting devices at any person or humanoid target is inappropriate. The National 4-H Shooting Sports Committee is unequivocally opposed to such use for the 4-H program. But now I'd like to talk to you about some opportunities for teens. Senior 4-H members may participate in leadership opportunities with shooting sports. Opportunities include things such as junior coach in a discipline area, as a shooting sports ambassador, or as a member of the Texas team. Washington County 4-H has a member on the Texas team for air rifle, Chase Taylor. That would be me. Chase Taylor will head to Nebraska in June and represent Texas at the National 4-H tournament. That's me. Okay. Competitive opportunities. Fun competitions between teams and others in the county, top shot activities. TSRA BB gun contests, uh, county sponsored events, March Madness, district shooting sports, etc. Statewide 4 H events, extravaganza, postal leagues, and state games. Those are just a few of the vast opportunities available to you. But now let's talk about the Texas 4-H shooting sports program currently, about how the Texas 4-H shooting sports program currently offers 6 disciplines. We'll just run through them quickly. First is archery, muzzleloading slash black powder, like George Washington, hunting, pistol, rifle, rifle's the best, shotgun, and that's 6. Now let's talk about I've already talked about the teen or child adult criteria, but now let's talk about the adult volunteer criteria. To be a 4-H leader at the local level, complete online registration at 4-H Connect. Background check must be completed through 4-H. Coaches must have certification from 4-H shooting sports programs in the discipline area for the program taught. So, for instance, if you get permitted to teach for archery and you're trained in archery, you can't run a rifle project. We also need parent assistance for each coach at each practice. That does not require certification, just a willingness to help. Now let's talk about becoming a 4-H shooting sports coach. The Texas 4-H National Resource Program offers Texas sports coach trainings for adult and senior 4-H age participants. Participants attend a 2-day class that will prepare them for working with their local clubs. Discipline certifications are offered in each of the areas previously mentioned: archery, hunting and wildlife, muzzleloading, pistol, rifle, and shotgun. Each certificate requires attendance at a 2-day class for 4-H. For more information, feel free to speak with Mr. Chovanec or Mr. Seeley, or visit this web link, which will be in the description. But now let's talk in some more general terms about what is a firearm and what is a bow. A firearm is a device that holds and fires ammunition and directs the bullet or shot in the direction in which it is pointed. A bow was the first weapon of war. A bow uses a mechanical leverage to generate a great deal more force than a human could do on its own. Please note that this is the only time you may reference the W word in 4-H. All of the references are to firearm, gun, or bow. The types of firearms and the operation of them is the next part that we will be going through. Identifying and unloading different firearms. The operation of different guns varies. It is essential to read the owner's manual and understand it before attempting to unload a particular gun. I'd also like to note, don't unload your friend's gun if they're away. If you don't know how to use it, don't touch it. Muzzle loading black powder firearms. This term denotes any gun that is loaded from the front or muzzle. When shooting black powder firearms, it is courteous to shoot from a location downwind of other shooters' lines. Here's a nice, helpful little picture, a resource for any of you confused about the terms we use to describe the gun or rifle. Speaking of rifles, bolt action. Here's the types of rifles. Bolt action, lever action, pump action, semi-automatic, brake/hinge action. Here's another graph to help you if you're a visual person. Now let's talk about shotgun. Hinge action slash brake action. There's a pump action, semi-automatic, bolt action, and lever action. And the types of handguns or pistols: hinge action, brake action, revolver, semi-automatic, and bolt action. And now let's talk about the various types of ammunition. Ammunition varies in size and appearance, and it is always designed to fit in a particular size and type of gun. Two categories: metallic cartridge or a rifle slash handgun. Those two are in one category. And the second category is shot shells or for shotgun. These are the various types of ammunition that guns will use. You can see just how much size and shape and color varies between all of the different types. Now let's talk about the next point, which is firearm safety, range commands, and personal protective equipment. 4-H shooting sports, participation, and safety. Operating since 1980, and despite millions of youths participating in 4-H shooting sports project, there has only been one documented firearm or archery-related injury in 4-H shooting sports. Our emphasis on shooting sports safety is the reason for this outstanding record. Shooting sports safety. Any gun or bow, including BB gun or air rifle, can be dangerous. Don't believe us? Meet Sinton Jordan, a 16-year-old from Magnolia, Texas, student who suffered a tragic event in the evening of Friday, June 11, 2010, and was rushed to the hospital via life flight due to a pellet gun shot to the head. The brain injury he suffered required major surgery and months in the hospital. He is recovering at home with therapeutic care. His brain injury has changed his life for him and his family forever. The teen who pulled the trigger faced criminal charges. BB guns and air rifles are not toys. Now let's talk about a code of ethics. Respect all participants. Set a good example. Respect the dignity of each participant regardless of ability. Conduct program in a professional and ethical manner. Adhere to the guidelines and be technically competent. Now let's talk about the various elements of gun safety. Positive attitude and knowledge and skill. Here's the first one: positive attitude. The most important element of safety is attitude. It is a simple matter of accepting the responsibility to act safely. It is the mental awareness that safety is the first and foremost when dealing with guns. Let's talk about my second point: knowledge. Knowledge means knowing and understanding the gun safety rules and how to apply them to any situation. It is knowing how guns and ammunition operate and how to handle them correctly. Knowledge is being aware of what you don't know and when or where to go for help. And let's talk about my final point on this is skill. Skill is handling firearms safely, means actually applying the gun rules. Skill is perfected through practice. And I'd like to disagree with this point thingy. Perfect practice makes perfect, not just practice. If you practice wrong, you'll be wrong. Marksmanship is a precise motor skill that can only be developed through regular practice or training. Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. Perfect practice makes perfect. Just to reiterate. Now let's move on to the fundamental gun safety rules. MAT, or muzzle action trigger. The muzzle is pointed in a safe direction, the action on the gun is open and empty, and your trigger is off the trigger until ready to shoot. And then finally, this was specifically for shotgun, but it would be mats and shells. Make sure you have only the shells, cartridges, or pellets that fit your gun, and no others in your vest or at your station. Now let's dive a little deeper into each point. Muzzle should always be pointed in a safe direction. What direction is safe though? A direction such that if it went off, it would not harm anyone. Could be up, down, down range. Use good judgment. No body parts over the muzzle, so don't put your hand in front of it or any other body part that could be easily harmed. Once the gun is loaded, do not turn to talk to someone or bend down to pick up a dropped shell, or any form of ammunition for that matter. And this is the writing on this first point. Muzzle obstructions. Always keep your muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Make sure your muzzle is clear before you go off range. If you accidentally poke your muzzle on the ground, check for obstructions such as dirt or paper or something that could have gotten it into the gun. If you shoot and hear a different sound, check for obstructions. And let's talk about the A in MAT. Action. It should be kept open and empty until ready to shoot. Use an OBI or open breech indicator or chamber flags. Pistols and rifles should be cased until instructed to remove at the firing line. Carrying your semi-automatic and pump guns with the action open and facing out so that everyone can see it is unloaded. Carry your over and under with the muzzle forward and in your hand. But when are you ready to shoot? It is your turn and you are standing at the station in the box. When it is your turn and you are standing at the station in a box, or you are instructed by a range officer. Now let's talk about the final point in MAT. Trigger. Keep your finger off the trigger until you are ready to shoot. Your finger is the real safety, driven by your brain. Get into the habit of keeping your finger indexed above the trigger guard alongside the gun until your sights are on target. Do not have your finger on the trigger when you close the action of your gun. It'll lead for easy mischarges. And this final point is just for shotgun, so I'll just go through it quickly. Shells, cartridge or pellets. Make sure your cartridge and or pellets caliber matches the gun that you are using. Do not have a 20 gauge shell in your pouch if you are shooting a 12 gauge shotgun. A 20 gauge shell will slide down out of sight in a 12 gauge. Many calibers are similarly sized. Be sure you have the correct ammunition. If you change guns in a hurry at your competition, make sure you change out of all shells, cartridges, or pellets if appropriate. Now let's talk about misfires or slow burns. What if you pull the trigger and nothing happens? Keep the gun pointed downrange and call for help. A coach or range official will come and help. And a very important point here is to watch others. Make sure other shooters are being safe. Anyone has the right to call ceasefire at any time. Ceasefire means stop shooting. Unload your firearm, put it down at the bench with the action open and the muzzle pointed down the range, and step back behind the ceasefire line. The range is active, or hot, or live. This means you can load and shoot your firearm. I like to point out that your first thing to write down would be the purple dinosaur. Just write down the word purple dinosaur. 10 rules of proper gunmanship. Number 1, keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. 2, treat every gun as if it were loaded. Even if the person handing it to you tells you it's not loaded, always act as if it is. Only load or cock a gun when you are shooting. Number 4, check your target and beyond your target. Number 5, anyone shooting or near a shooter should wear shooting glasses and closed-toed shoes. And to round off these points, never climb a tree or fence or jump a ditch with a loaded gun. Avoid ricochet. Never shoot on a flat, hard surface or the surface of water. Keep your muzzle, barrel, and action free of obstructions. Guns not used should always be unloaded and stored properly from ammunition. Respect people's property. And I'd also like to point out the second thing to write down is yellow dog. Yellow dog. Range commands. Shooters to the line. Shooters may approach the firing line. Preparation period. Shooters may prepare to shoot, getting their guns ready. The range is active, live, or hot. Guns are loaded. Firing is about to begin. Commence firing, or fire when ready. That one's pretty self-explanatory. Ceasefire. Anyone can call this at any time. Stop keeping gun pointed downrange or unloaded. Open action. Set it down. Step back from the firing line. Put your hands up, whatever. I'd also like to point out your third item to write down is oak tree. Oak tree. Personal protective equipment. PPE for short. Eye protection required in all events. Ear/hearing protection not required for air events. However, I would suggest it if you want to close off yourself from all the loud noises around you. It helps you concentrate. Closed-toed shoes are required. Sunscreen and water. Water is a big one. Baby wipes when handling lead pellets and or bullets/cartridges. So wash your hands and get the lead off however you can before you go eat or anything. Hats for shade and protection from ejected shells and or cartridges. Those are very useful. Firearms cleaning and maintenance and storage. This is the last point that I stated in the beginning. The first part of that is cleaning. Any mishap that occurs while cleaning a gun is not really an accident, but a failure to apply safety rules. Cleaning is a necessity for safe gun operation. A clean, properly functioning gun is the safe, responsible way for all gun owners and users to keep their guns safe. The cleaning gun formula. 3 things are necessary to fire a gun. Gun, obviously, plus ammunition, plus shooter. Eliminate any one of these and the gun cannot be fired. I like to point out that your fourth and final point to write down is Blue Wizard. Blue Wizard. Gun storage. Factors to consider when storing guns. Storage facilities, access by others, especially small people, personal needs, and security. Store guns so they are not accessible to untrained or unauthorized persons. And parents, don't make guns a mystery. Before your child discovers a gun without an adult around, teach them the following. Stop, don't touch, leave the area, and tell an adult. It's a very simple but very powerful thing to remember. And now we're going to go over the 4 shooting positions. Prone, standing, sitting, and kneeling, in that order for BB gun. An easy way to remember this is you're lying on the ground, then you stand up, then you sit down, and then you kneel, that you've done well. Now you might be saying to yourself, that sounds great. How do I join? Contact the project leader, David Chovanec, by phone or email and let him know that of your interest and intention to attend practices. David can be reached via email, the one in the description, or via phone 979 421 0308. Practices will begin Monday, January 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. and be on Mondays and Wednesdays at the sales building and the fairgrounds. In order to attend, the child and the parent must have watched this video and completed the quiz verification form. When you have come to practice, you will need to sign the Washington County 4-H shooting sports guidelines and wear closed-toed shoes and bring eye protection, if you have it, for both parents and students. We have extra safety glasses if needed, but having your own is sometimes more comfortable. This is not a drop-off program. A parent must be present. Any exceptions must be cleared with Mr. Chovanec. And now we're done!